Okay guys, so we are back at the TR4 and I already put the transmission out for those of you who didn't watch my update video. The transmission is out because the overdrive is giving us troubles, and the story again very quickly. It was rebuilt by somebody last summer. You can see his hands all over the place with the gasket maker. He supposedly had to change the gaskets only because it was leaking, but for this reason he had to take it completely apart and he put it back together, but unfortunately it looks like he didn't know what was he doing. So the overdrive doesn't work now. This core plug is popping out all the time because obviously it's creating too much pressure inside. I don't know what's going on. And the lever was totally misaligned and I had to align it, but still the overdrive didn't work and it's making some grinding noises inside. I want to give you a disclaimer here. I've never rebuilt overdrives. This is my first time. I read some documents, instructions, manuals, I watched some videos, so I am aware more or less what I'm gonna find inside, but I'm not professional, and please don't quote me for anything because I am learning on the go. Yeah, the oil was pretty clean. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the procedure that I am trying to follow. So there's online, I found those guides of rebuilding the Triumph A-type overdrive. They are very useful. I'm going to put a link in the description. Oops. Ha! Really? Okay. There's a torque specification for here, which definitely is not 0.5 foot-pounds, which was applied here. I should stop whining because there's gonna be a lot more disaster there, I'm sure. So here there's according to the manual, actually I'm gonna tell you first, I'm using this manual, a guide called the Greasy Hands Garage Guide to Rebuilding the Triumph A-Type Overdrive. That's a beautiful guide with a lot of pictures in it, and it's written in very simple language, so even I can understand it. There are three parts. There's introduction, there's disassembling and assembling. So I read the introduction and I read the disassembling parts, and I took some notes here, and now I'm following those notes. And according to this manual, there's a special tool here to be used so you can pull the pinion, the speedometer pinion, but for some reason this overdrive has a hole right here and I can pull the pinion right out. So I'm not gonna disassemble this, I don't need to. But usually on most of the A-type overdrives, actually on all the A-type overdrives that I've seen, pictures and in person, there's no opening here. So the only way to remove the pinion is to pull it from here. So anyways, now the oil is drained, and I think the next step is to separate the overdrive from the transmission. Now, according to this guide as well, I have to remove this cover with these 8 bolts here. But I don't see a reason, if I'm not going to be rebuilding the transmission, which I'm not planning to, then I don't see a reason to remove this cover. I think if I remove those bolts, I can pull the overdrive from the transmission. So I will try to do that. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I will need to remove the cover, but for now I'm going to try to avoid that. Huh. I hope now it's not gonna fly. Okay, so I made a mistake here. I was supposed to remove the short bolts first and then the 2 long rods. They were gonna let me release the spring slowly. Okay, so first mistake. Good thing nothing bad happened, right? Okay, it looks like it's biting here, so yes, follow the manual. Don't improvise like me, so I have to remove this cover. God, not good. Okay, you haven't given up watching me yet, so you are a very patient person. Okay, so I recovered all 8 springs. On these 8 rods is where all the 8 springs go. Okay, so let me see what does the manual say, or the guide. So first we have to remove the cover, drain the oil, remove the solenoid, split the overdrive from the transmission. All this is done. Oh, and it says here, nuts from short studs first and then the long ones. Well, I took note of that. Anyway, so next is the operating valve. It's okay here under this plug. But it says remove the plug, the spring, the plunger and the bowl, but do not remove the actual valve yet, because we might need it to push the piston, the whatever piston out. So this is the plug, the spring. I'm gonna put those in a small box. So this is the plug and the spring, and these are the plunger and the bowl. So they came out, and there's a valve inside, but we're gonna pull it out later. So that's done. Next, it says the accumulator piston needs to be pulled out. Something is... Do you hear that? Wow. There's something inside which is going back and forth. Well, we will find out what. Okay, so the accumulator piston is located here under the solenoid. Oh, actually, when I removed the lever here, there was no spacer behind it. There was supposed to be a spacer. Okay, missing. You see how the spring is pushing it open? And believe me, it's a big spring. At least what I've seen in video. So you don't want it flying all over the place. Still under pressure. Yeah, it looks like both bolts are loose now. Yeah. Now let's see what's inside. This is the spring I'm talking about. Is it heavy? Sleeve. So there's the piston, which I can pull, but now they said here, I'm gonna turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. You can put the bow back there, pink, and then apply air here. And I'm gonna hold the piston here so it doesn't fly in case it decides to come out. Pang! Voila! The piston is out. Okay. Okay, now I want to show you something which I think was one of the problems. But for this reason I'm gonna bring you closer. Do you see this? This tab here is what pushes the operating valve up. This is the end of the operating valve. So that's why here on the other side of this rod there was supposed to be a spacer, which means this was gonna be always in this position, but there was no spacer there, so this was able to go to play like that. And it's possible that it missed the operating valve. You see? Anyways, I don't know if this is correct, but I think that was one of the problems. So now that we are done with the operating valve, I'm going to pull the bow out and the actual valve. So that's the valve, and everywhere I read and watched videos, everywhere they paid special attention to this little hole here, which is the relief hole for the pressure from the oil for some reason, which I don't understand yet. I hope I will, but this hole needs to be clean. Next we have to remove the operating pistons from here. You see? Here there are tap washers that need to be bent so I can remove those bridges and remove the pistons. Yeah. Actually, I'm too lazy and I'm gonna do this. Now we have to withdraw the operating pistons. Okay, since we have a rubber O-ring here, this means that this is a late overdrive because the early ones had steel rings here. Same here. Okay, what's next? Okay, so remove the pump. First remove the check valve plug, and then spring, and then plunger and ball. So it's similar to the operating valve. So we're gonna remove that first. Okay. Come on, let go. So this is the plug. I'm gonna put it here. There's a spring and a plunger. There must be also a bow inside. So let's see if this bow is gonna come out. Yep, this is the bow. So now we can remove the oil pump, which is inside here. So the screws are out. Now I need to remove the plug. One of the special tools that is needed, and of course I don't have any, is for here, for this pump. So I'm gonna have to find a bolt which has the same thread that I can put there, and then that's gonna help me pull out the pump. Okay, I can't find a bolt that fits there, that hole, so when I'm leaving to go home tonight, I'm gonna pass by the hardware store and I will buy what I need to get. So I'm gonna skip that step. So now I can separate the housing. Well, I can hear things inside going back and forth. Okay. And this is now what I'm curious about, because when I watched the videos about assembling it, there are marks on these three gears that is very important to be in the right place. And actually, I can still hear something inside. Okay, we'll find out. These three gears have marks on them that need to be matched, but I don't see any marks on any of the wheels here. How come? Okay, there's one. So there's one mark here, and now in this case the other two are supposed to be here and here, but they're not there. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here to see where is this mark. On this gear. Something is, well, I don't know, that shouldn't be like that. Anyways, okay, there's another mark here, but this is not here and this is not here. So the marks weren't followed. Okay, so as expected, the marks were just ignored. Good job, my friend. I hope you're watching. I will know if you're watching by the thumbs down that you usually give me. Okay, so now we can pull this Planetary Assembly, I think they call it. Okay, these look fine. At least the gears are not badly damaged. But here you see this. This is the unidirectional clutch, which once I pull out is gonna fall apart, but that's fine. I'm gonna keep all the rollers and we're gonna assemble them later. So watch me losing everything now. Come on. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, 6 come out. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the 12th one is here, but I can't take. Okay, 12. So 12 rollers. The cage looks good, but there is a circlip inside, which I don't think it's supposed to be there. Why was it inside? Okay, we will see later where it's supposed to go. But okay, and this is the annulus, which is supposed to be pressed out. Let me just see, there's a thrust washer here. See the color of this thrust washer? That's what was making a lot of friction. I can tell by the color of this thrust washer that it was overheated badly. And the rest, this is the annulus that is supposed to be pressed out. No, there's still something inside. So I was just gonna say that I'm not gonna press it out because I don't think there is a reason, but actually there is a reason. Wow. Do you hear that? Okay, so there's our problem. The bearing, I guess this bearing here is shut, and okay, this just came out. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Where do you go? Here. Okay, so now for this we will need a shop press to push it out. Great. So here's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my guess. Based on these hammer marks here, I think what happened was this guy was trying to press the annulus out. He couldn't. He ruined the bearing, and then when he realized that he couldn't press it out, he just left it alone, put it back together, and everything was fine. Okay, So I think I'm gonna leave everything else as it is, because this bearing sounds great for me. I'm not gonna disassemble the gears from the Planetary Assembly. The sun gear looks good. The pistons look good. Maybe just I'm gonna buy new O-rings for them. And a new bearing for here. And we are done. Wow. I thought it was gonna be much harder. Okay, that's good. Oh, and we're gonna get new seal. Can you believe it? He even put a gasket maker on the seal. And we're gonna have to figure out something like a shop press. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna continue when we have parts, or when I have a shop press to press this out.